So a while ago I tried out 20 consoles in my gaming room with this portable monitor. But since then I've had peeps asking me, well, how well does it work with the latest consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? Now that is an interesting question because, well, you see, I didn't have either of those consoles the last time round. But I do now! So it would be worth checking these out to see how well they fare. And just for a bit of even Stevens, let's throw in that newer Switch. As it has a newer, bigger OLED display, is it worth using this monitor with it? Hello fellow gamers, and is this skit ever going to get old?
Yes, it will.
So just to recap, what I have here is one of the cheapest portable monitors available on Amazon. Or at least it was when I bought it last July. A few more have popped up since then. It's got a full 1080p 60Hz screen, supports HDR and has USB Type-C and mini HDMI inputs. It's even got built-in speakers and it's amazingly slim, so it can be taken and set up more or less anywhere. Since this is a monitor, you can expect some decent response times. This particular Arzopa monitor boasts a 3 millisecond response time. Well, at least from all the blurb I can find online. I can't really prove that without spending a fortune on specialist equipment. What I can tell you though is that it certainly responds faster than the TV, which you would expect anyway, but I had even caught this on camera, which proves that it is a noticeable improvement. I caught this footage from the last time I put it through its paces. I tried it out last year with 20 of my consoles in my gaming room and, well, not to give away the ending, it proved to work surprisingly well with a lot of them. You can check out the video via the card in the corner if you're interested, but in short, if the console had native HDMI, there were no struggles getting it to work with this, though the results were mixed. Which leads us to the newer addition to the console collection, the PS5, the OLED Switch and the Xbox Series X, all of which, of course, have native HDMI. So there's absolutely no question at all that these will work with this monitor. But the question that we're posing here though is, how well do they work? Getting the OLED Switch out of the way first of all, it works on here, well, the same as the original Switch. You can connect it straight to the monitor with the supplied Type-C cable if you want to, and if you're powering it with the Switch's existing power supply, it will behave as if it were docked, allowing you to play games on the monitor while charging the system itself. That's pretty damn handy. Now with the old Switch, jumping up to this screen was remarkable. But using the OLED Switch with this was a little less satisfying. I mean, of course, it works the same as always. The picture is bright, it's very sharp, and when comparing a 15.6-inch 1080p display against a 7-inch 720p display, that picture will obviously be clearer on the bigger screen. If you're in a position where you and a bunch of mates are playing local multiplayer on the same Switch, the wide viewing angles offered by this monitor will make it a damn sight easier for everyone to enjoy, rather than just peering at that little screen built into the Switch. But it has to be said, the change from OLED to LED is so painfully obvious. After using the OLED Switch portably for a while, using this monitor is going to leave you wanting a bit for those more vibrant colours and those deeper blacks. And yes, while the monitor itself does support HDR, which would bring you those deeper blacks, the Switch itself doesn't. Now the mention of HDR gives us a good excuse to segue over to the PS5 and Xbox Series X, both of which do support HDR, and both of them look absolutely excellent on this portable screen. I mean sure, HDR does look great on a big TV, but it seems somewhat more surprising on something so slim and so portable. It really adds depth to the games, especially those that use lighting effectively. Now there is something that I did notice with this though. When HDR was in effect, it seems to leave you with a very dark picture. Now in this case, I suspect it may have been because I changed over from my usual 4K TV to this one, and both of the consoles just needed recalibrating again. After doing that though, the image was a lot better. Now all of this is sounding rather peachy, but there is something else that we have to remember as well. While the monitor perfectly matches the Switch's display output, you know, being a 1080p 60Hz display and all, these other two consoles can exceed it. Both the PS5 and Xbox Series X support 4K and 120Hz for super detailed and silky smooth gameplay. And since this monitor doesn't support either of those, we'll have to dial down our expectations a bit. We're not going to get stunning 4K nor silky smooth 120Hz out of this.
But you know what? This gives us a very nice middle ground.
Since neither console is being pushed to any of their limits with regards to their graphical output, generally games are going to perform more consistently when using a screen like this. There's no pressure at all to push a 4K picture nor 120 frames per second at any given time. And plus, for anyone who has seen my disappointments videos in the past regarding both of these consoles, you might remember me saying that one of their letdowns was how ray tracing sacrificed the resolution and refresh rate. That's not going to be so much of an issue with this. Using a more average screen resolution and refresh rate means that you can enable ray tracing without needing to sacrifice nearly as much. So to summarise, yes, all of these work excellently on this portable monitor. When using the OLED Switch with this, it's better suited for multiplayer because of its wide viewing angle, but you will miss the vibrant colours you'll have gotten used to from playing the Switch portably. Both the PS5 and Xbox Series X look stunning on this. They'd both easily get a top tier S ranking if I was trying this out with all the others last year. You may not be taking full advantage of either console with this display, but its balance of resolution and refresh rate means that you can happily use ray tracing without having to compromise. Now, for those of you who really want that 4K picture at all times, there is a 4K version of this monitor available right now, but that's often touching £300 at the moment, and quite frankly, you're barely going to notice a difference on a screen of this size, especially when anything is in motion. And if you really need 120Hz, be prepared to part with even more of your hard-earned cash. Nonetheless, you get an excellent picture on this from all of these systems. Given the incredibly small footprint of this monitor and its usually £130 price point, I think its compromises are more than acceptable. And with that, I'm signing off, so thanks very much for watching. Have you been trying out portable monitors with your consoles? Let us all know your experiences in the comments. And hey, while you're down there, please let me know what you thought of the video with a like or dislike. And well, you can always hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more from me. Thanks again, and I'll catch you all next time.